It is such a great day to be here in my old neighborhood. As many of you know, I spent 15 years living on this block. And just in case you were wondering, Mr. Director, this is where we held our practice for the flag football team that you lost to in the championship last year. We held the practice right down at the bottom of the hill. But it's so important to be here today. Because we know how much the Gardenville Rec Center has meant to this community for all these years, whether it was Mr. Moody, Ms. Downland, Ms. Jackson, everybody advocating for, at one point when I first became a city council person, was to keep the skating rink. And then if you, Ms. Jackson will remember where we had some folks who were, we love our partners in Baltimore County, but they were trying to take over our rec center and come use our rec center and then, not pay. We didn't have that. We couldn't have that. We needed to make sure that our children in our neighborhood were able to continue to participate. So not you, Mr. Director, but some of your predecessors had to understand that in a deep way. I'm always happy to be here with Councilwoman McCray, who's always fighting for this neighborhood and every neighborhood. But I really do want to uplift our director, Reggie Moore, and his entire team. So all the Rec and Parks team, wave your hands. Because they are doing phenomenal work across this city. What you see is that's going to be built here. We are doing in every single section of Baltimore City. It may be a new year, but our rec rollout program is still in full effect. Because we know for decades this department was starved of resources, especially at the capital level, to build new and renovate rec centers, and they were closing rec centers and all these things that we saw happen before. In 2023, we did a lot of rec rollout events, moving forward a ton of our priorities for recreation parks. In 2024 will be no different. Today, we will be breaking ground on a brand new, state-of-the-art Gardenville Rec Center that this community will be able to enjoy starting in 2026. Standing here in my old neighborhood, I know how important these rec centers are to the communities they serve, and I'm overcome really with excitement for this neighborhood and this project in particular. There's a reason that Rec and Parks is such a cornerstone of my administration, and why we invested so much money, especially ARPA money, and why I spend so much time talking about how we are making those investments. As you all know, I grew up in rec centers and with rec centers, and while the facilities were nowhere near to the level of what we have today, they were such an important place for young people across Baltimore, a safe place to go, a guarantee of something to do, and also for us, and many times, a place where we could eat. Just the basic things that our young people and families need. And that's what all of Baltimore's young people need. But now we're able to be lucky to build rec centers. They aren't just square cinder blocks with maybe half a gym or no gym, a little room, no bathroom and showers, all the things that we had to endure for all those years. But now we are building 21st century world-class facilities like you would see in suburban America. Our young people deserve those same type of facilities, and this is why we are building in that way. On these grounds, on the hill that I used to run every morning, a 23,000 square foot state-of-the-art rec center will serve as a place for our youth and community to flourish. With the ARPA funds, thank you, President Biden, thank you to our congressional delegations, we're able to provide our residents with top flight programming on a brand new recreational campus that will afford the residents the opportunity to develop into well-rounded individuals. Amenities at the new Gardenville Rec Center, which will also be fully ADA compliant so that everyone can enjoy, will include a full-size gymnasium featuring a collegiate-sized basketball court. Can't wait for that, Mr. Reggie, can't wait for that. 2 high school cross courts, and, of course, it's a Gardenville, a roller skating track. Multi-purpose rooms, 1 large dividable multi-purpose community room, and additional flexible community purpose room for Ms. Downer, Mr. Moody, everyone to hold their community meetings in. Outside of the facility, you can enjoy a loop walk, expansive playgrounds, and outdoor fitness zones. And as you just heard, the new Gardenville Rec Center is going to be a true asset for this community. Our rec centers will continue to be a cornerstone for me and my administration. We made so much progress on our rec centers, on our pools, on our play spaces all across the city, and we're not done yet. Projects like these are possible when we work together with the community to address the needs and the concerns that they raise to us in neighborhoods across Baltimore. And I just want to note that we're entering a budget season. And just a few weeks ago, I released my preliminary budget, and I know the council president and the councilwoman and their colleagues will be digging into that over a few weeks as we go through our yearly budget process. But it's important to note that while we had to make some difficult decisions and overcome what $100 million deficit, we were able to accomplish that without any cuts to service and while actually increasing the overall investment into Baltimore City Rec and Parks. Historically in Baltimore, projects like this one and other park projects for Rec and Parks are often the first to go when times get tough, with our kids being the ones that are impacted when we need to balance the budget. I just want to note that how proud I am that we are changing that history, and we're not balancing the budget on the backs of our young people and families, and that we will continue to do things the right way, albeit understanding that we still have a big looming thing over the whole city with the fallout from the Francis Scott Key Bridge. But even through that, we will make sure that we're investing in our young people and our families and our communities, just like we're doing here in Gardenville. So congratulations to everyone. And with that, I have the opportunity to introduce someone that I've known for a long time. I never ever had a little sister. I never had on plan on getting one, but then Cory told me I had one. Senator McCray told me I had one. And just because I'm in a very good mood this morning, I'm going to really embarrass the councilwoman. And just so you know, as everyone knows, the councilwoman used to work in my office. But what you don't know is that the first time I asked her to work in my office, she told me no. She wouldn't come. She didn't want to do it. You know, I saw the future, but she didn't see it. But the second time, she did. And, you know, we spent a lot of time working together in the office, helping all of the folks in the community, and me saying to her, like, one day when you're sitting on this side of the office, you're going to see things a little differently. You have to understand and grow. But I am so proud to see how she's grown into the role. She's a better council person than I ever was, which is what we always want for the folks coming behind us. But more importantly, how she cares for the community and shows the young women how you can grow in leadership. And with that, Councilwoman Danielle McCray.
I just want you guys to know he says I'm the sister. Not that he never had, but the one that he may sometimes have never wanted. Good morning, everyone. I am so thrilled to stand here today in the heart of our community, surrounded by neighbors like Miss Jackson, like Miss Perez, like Mr. Moody, like our good Principal Rice, leaders and friends, as we break ground on a project that promises new opportunities and revitalization, our new Gardenville Recreation Center. Y'all can clap for that. This recreation center is not just a building. It's a beacon of what I feel we can achieve when we're all working together. I want to thank our mayor, our director, Director Moore, every single person on the team within Recs and Parks who has made this happen and who is continuing to make this happen. We are grateful to you all. This new recreation center will provide a safe, inclusive space where our youth can play and learn, where our seniors can gather, and where every community member can pursue health, education, and personal growth. It's about building a stronger community fabric, connecting us through recreation, wellness, and shared experiences. Projects like this are vital. Projects like this are important. And it's not only because they foster community engagement, but more importantly, they bring hope. Hope for a child that's looking for a place to be after school, like I did at my home rec, which was Murray E. Rodman. Hope for a parent seeking community, and hope for a senior looking for a connection. And as we turn the soil today, we are planting more than just the foundation of a building. We're going to be planting seeds for our future. Right here in the soil of this neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods that represent the true heart and soul of our city. I want to end this again by thanking everyone who has advocated, everyone who is here, who has planned and who dreamed this into reality. This is just the beginning. And last, I want to thank you again. Let's just keep showing up and let's keep building. At this time, I'm going to welcome up my partner, as well as the mayor. I don't want to leave my other brother out since he gave me that good shout out. But I'm going to bring up Senator Cory McCray, who we know has been fighting for us since day one, who has fought this session in Annapolis, and somebody that I'm very, very proud of, and who also made sure that we can get this done too. Welcome Senator Cory McCray for me.
How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? All right, well, I know that there's nothing that I can't say to my mayor and my councilwoman that has not said at this time already. So I just like to take the opportunity to take time and just give the accolades. Mr. and Mrs. Moody, Lachey, Miss Cruz, Miss Wynette Downer, Miss Barbara Jackson, so many folks, Brandon, that has planted that seed with us, this generation at this moment, so that we can make sure that we take care of the next generation that we have in front of us. And Mr. Mayor, if I can, I'd just like to take the time out to thank our young scholars that we have here, Principal Rice, because at the end of the day, they are the future Danielle McCrays, Jackie Addisons, Brandon Scotts, and we know that when we contribute in this manner, give them the places that they can thrive and be successful, that are also safe for them to propel from what is unimaginable, that we know that we're doing what we're supposed to do, Principal Rice. So I say thank you. I say thank you for making sure our young scholars show up. But I also say thank you to the councilwoman. And I say thank you to the councilwoman because at the end of the day, we know these things are not easy, Miss Donna. We know that these things are not easy as we cobble together the money, as we figure out how do we make sure that we transition, that we have these buildings, the contractors and things of these natures. So I say thank you for leading by example and thank you for being who you are. But if I can, y'all, can I just give a shout out and can we give a round of applause to my mayor, Brandon Scott? Director Moore, we know the man care about public safety. We know he care about public safety. We seen that when he was a second council district. But I'm telling you that he will beat a young person at basketball, flag football, soccer, and not take it easy on them. JJ, he even beat my little boys at running. I said, let them win, they 8 and 10. But Mr. Mayor, we know that each and every day that you go to sleep thinking about what the future of these young scholars and what our city of Baltimore look like in their hands. And we know that the contributions that you are putting, whether it's a recreation center, whether it's a K-12 educational school, that we know that we are doing what we are supposed to do by them. So I say thank you, Mr. Mayor. I say thank you because we know that you're leading at this moment. And you're not leading just for this generation, but you're leading for generations and generations that we can't even imagine. So I say to everybody that joined us today, let's make sure that we keep this going. Let's make sure that we keep the ball rolling. And let's always remember that we're just getting started. Y'all have a blessed day and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Senator McCray. Again, this is, words can't even really express the excitement I have right now. I remember having some conversations with the councilwoman and just really moving this project forward, coming to a community meeting and hearing the passion of the community. And one of the things we committed that this day was going to happen, and today is happening. But this doesn't happen just because of just the community alone. It takes a lot of people to make this happen. So I want to take a minute and acknowledge those. Number one, when you assume a role as a director, you're only as strong also as elected officials that support you. When you have a mayor that you can call on, that literally calls you at 10, 11 o'clock at night too, and we're talking about how we can advance recreation, that's the leader you want to support. That's the leader you want to be with. So Mayor Scott, again, thank you for everything you continue to do for our agency. And you're not just talking, you're putting the funding to support the vision that we're trying to move forward. But also, I remember about 3-4 years ago, I was having lunch with Senator McCray, and I shared the vision of this agency and where I wanted us to go. So, Senator, as you can see, I think we've been pretty committed to it, right? So thank you for your support in Annapolis and what you do. And Councilwoman, thank you. And Delegate Addison, thank you for your leadership. Beyond our elected officials, there's a team that makes this happen. I can have all the thoughts in the world, but if I don't have an Adam Boardman who's the chief of capital who understands that we have some high goals and we have some clear expectations that we want to create a culture of excellence, but we also want to provide quality recreational programs. So Adam, thank you. Thank you to Shavaria, who is our in-house architect, has been working, but also I have to acknowledge Anna Castilla and her team at JRS Architects, because they listen to you as a community. As the mayor talked about, I'm not going to rehash all the amenities, but this is the first facility that now you can have 2 competitive games going at the same time. But beyond that, Senator McCray, I heard you. You talked about skating and making sure that we brought skating back, because that's where you used to skate. Not only are we going to have the 2 competitive basketball courts that can convert to a collegiate court, but we also have the skating rink that's going around the facility that we can utilize. So that happens because of Anna and her team listen to this community to be creative and innovative. So, Mr. Mayor, as you stated, this train is just continuously moving. This is the kickoff for 24. Later today, we're going to be cutting a ribbon at our first ever esports site in another part of Baltimore. So community, continue to stay tuned to the work that we're doing. But additionally, what groundbreakings means is there's progress, right? So clearly today we're making progress. I want to acknowledge that while we have more than 50 recreation centers, we're completing a comprehensive plan, and part of that comprehensive plan is looking at our strategy of how we continue to build and advance things. But the rec center is one component of this thing, right? But when Anna and her team got together and said, hey, we want to bring the outside area alive, when the mayor talked about the walking track, but when you talk about that play space and the space that you're going to be able to be on the backside, and Principal Rice, thank you for your support. And one of the things that me and Anna talked about today also is that this is a facility where Rec and Park and the school is going to be working hand in hand. That is what we want. That is something that when I got here, they said that was not happening, but we're doing it. But Principal Rice, thank you for your continued support of our agency. So when we talk about investments, we're talking about $15 million plus here. But what we're talking about is the mayor has committed over $41 million in ARPA funding, and that's why you're seeing all the projects. So to Mayor Scott, thank you. To Senator McCray, thank you for your continued leadership. Councilwoman McCray, thank you. Delegate Addison, thank you. But thank you to the community, because we can't do what we do without you. And I want you to understand, this facility is being built and designed because of the input, the feedback. You coming to those meetings and asking for what you want. And the last person I want to acknowledge before I bring up Ms. Perez is Townsend Mechanical. Because it's one thing for JRS to design it, now it got to become a reality. So thank you, Townsend Mechanical, for bidding on this project and stepping up to the task of building this new facility. In 2026, we're going to be coming back here celebrating this brand new recreational facility, one of the largest facilities in our community. So thank you. As you can see, I'm so excited. I can talk all day about this. So for the sake of time, I won't. And at this time, I want to bring up one of our community voices, Ms. Perez.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited about this project as a lifetime member of this community. I'm very excited. I'm surprised that I was called up here. so I'm not prepared. But again, I would like to thank all the community presidents for coming out, the community partners, the elected officials, Ms. Rice, the principal, for coming out to support this event today. And with that being said,
Great job.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. See, Ms. Perez, you was ready though. You didn't know you had to come up here, but you was ready when you came up here, right? So thank you. And Ms. Barbara Jackson she said, this is my new president. But she gonna call you first, but then I'm gonna call you second. That what Ms. Jackson just said a few minutes ago. Next up, we're gonna have Mr. Moody come and say a few words.
First thing, I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I want to thank the team Recreation and Parks in the back. Those guys has been there for us. And I want to thank the mayor. Let me tell you a little story about the mayor. He was a council representative in there before I go into my paper here, and I got this thing all screwed up, so bear with me. But anyway, we're going to get this together. First thing, it's a great day. Hey, and it's a great day because we're getting something that's going to help our community. All right? This day, this groundbreaking brings another layer of strength, opportunities, fun to our community, kids, and families. The next thing is our first step towards that was Radke Park. I want the mayor to come up right now. I need him. He's been around a long time. Okay, he's been around. When Radke Park got funded under the previous administration, he was a council representative. We were able to get that field renovated. And I went to the mayor, who was then council representative, and what he said, I said, hey, you have got to have this field named after Mr. Ralph Sayers. He said, you have to write a bio up to get this thing done. He said, because the city will not put anything, name on any building or any sign for I got to get a proclamation. And guess what? He made it happen. I wrote the bio, he made it happen. He's always been about recreation, and I'm a type of person, I give credit where credit's due. I'm not elected officials, I'm not trying to be an elected official. I care about where I live at. When it comes to the kids out here, it's to my heart, it's dear to my heart. Because I coached in football up in Radke, and my kids were cheerleaders up in Radke. And a lot of guys I see, a lot of young people, thanks to the mayor again, play football up there. I got a gentleman back there, Ron Rudersill, used to play football up there. A lot of these guys right now grown, like I remember Ron when he was a little teeny kid.
That had to be a long time.
Yeah, a long time ago. But anyway, he played football, and a lot of these guys come back as grown men, and they did well. So that's why I'm going to lead into what the official stuff. But I want to say to Mayor Scott, great job.
Thank you, sir.
Great job.
Thank you.
Anytime. Okay, now I'm going to go to the official part. Okay. It says, first was the Radke Park. I already told you about that. And the second one was, if we getting a new recreation center. And the other thing I want to thank Director Moore and the rec team back there, who they see me all the time around there, and they keep the grass out here cut. They do an outstanding job. Hey, amen. Hey, the other thing I want to do is, before I go in there, I want to have the community leaders stand up, please. Please, they're on the front row up here, because they deserve it, because they worked hard. and they continue to work hard. Again, the community leaders out here represent Sedonia, Sedmount. Anybody here from Sedmount? No, we didn't get them today. They may be sick. Oh, whoa. I don't have this thing. I'm lost. I am lost. Believe me. But anyway, they represent community leaders out here, represent Sedonia, Sedmount, Gardenville, Frankfurt. And I want this one lady to stand up, Mrs. Barbara Jackson. Please stand up. Miss Barbara Jackson goes back before I was around, and I've been doing this since 1990. And she go back way longer than I am. The other lady is Mrs. Cruz from Bel Air Edison. A lot of work. Well, they taught me a lot. The other one I want to say too is the Frankfurt Association is out here, Frankfurt Community Association, and Howland the Hills, who just joined in coalition with us. Thank you, Howland the Hills, doing a wonderful job over there. I want to give a special shout out to the guy in the back, Mr. Earl Johnson. Come up here for a minute. You know, he won't stand up, he won't stand about. Earl's been keeping us on the loop on what's going on out here, and we really appreciate it. And we appreciate all, again, the worker bees from Parks and Recreation, and all the worker bees and from the contractor, and for everybody that played a part in there. Because whether you know it or not, that big piece of pie is that big, and everybody had a slice in it. You may not think that you did not have a slice in it. You do. Your information, your listening, and your ability to move and get things done for us out here. We really appreciate what you have done. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you again.
Mr. Booth, they were telling me about to start buzzing you a little bit. Not just fun. And with that, Mayor Few and the senator and the councilwoman, the delegate, and the speakers will join us over here to the left. We're going to officially toss the dirt with the young people from Hazelwood. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back in 26.